Hi, Mira. In this role play, I'll be acting as your colleague Megan with a skeptical personality. Hello.
Hi Megan. How's it going?
Hi, Mira. It's going well. Thanks. How about you? Anything on your mind today?
Yes, so today I actually wanted to use our time together to run a investment opportunity by you before I bring it up to the larger committee. I want to get your thoughts on this. So this is a German company called Greenvolt Europe. I'm not sure if you've heard of them. Their operations are primarily in onshore wind, about 60%, but they also do solar PV and battery storage. I think they're a really great company for us to um, look at acquiring. I've run the numbers and I've done the research. It really gives us a good foothold in the renewables energy within Europe. Greenvolt has a footprint in Germany, Spain, Portugal, and Poland, really the key wind markets. And, if their asset quality is strong and there's an attractive return profile, I can run you through the specifics, but I just wanted, very quickly to get your thoughts on what you think about this.
Interesting. Before we dive in, I have a few questions. What specific data do you have on Greenbook Europe's financial performance and how do their returns compare to industry benchmarks? Also, have you considered the potential risk involved, such as regulatory changes or market volatility in those regions? I'm curious to see if there's any historical precedent for similar investments that might shed light on the potential outcomes here.
Thanks for asking. Those are great questions. I don't have their financials on hand, so let me get back to you on that. I did briefly look at the risk. Yes, you're right. Pricing volatility is one of the key risks in this industry. But what we can do is, um, have 80% of the revenue under long-term PPAs. Some of the other risks include uh, rising interest rates, but we can look at locking in a low-cost project finance for 65% of the portfolio. And there are a couple of other ones that are less important, but I have looked into the risks and mitigating approaches that we can take, and I'm happy to run you through these. I really do think this is a good strategic fit for us because they do provide a long-term asset base with stable cash flows. Um, they have a strong local team, operational independence, and really quite a large presence in the Central European region, into Eastern Europe. And it really allows us to get into this industry, which we know European renewables is expected to grow from 565 GW to 990 GW in just the next 5 years or so.
Appreciate the overview. However, without the financials, it's hard to fully assess the opportunity. The idea of having 80% of revenue under long term PPAs does sound like a solid risk mitigation strategy, but I need to see the specifics of those agreements. Also, locking in low cost project finance could be beneficial, but it's crucial to understand the terms and conditions. Have you considered how their operational independence and local presence might affect integration with our existing operations? And what evidence do you have that their team can effectively manage expansion into Eastern Europe? Let's make sure we're not overlooking any potential challenges.
Yeah, definitely. I think those are great questions. I particularly, hadn't thought about how this, you know, um, how the firm could continue to serve us by expanding even deeper into Eastern Europe. Since this is just, on paper acquisition without day-to-day management. I think the fact that they're independent actually works well for us because we're looking at this more from an investment perspective rather than, I don't believe we're in the business of taking over or managing operations. And I think that's why they're also a really great fit for us. This would be our first major investment in the European renewables market. And it really enhances our ESG score as well. I think we are looking at more future-proof, sustainably run businesses, and I think this would be a great one for us. But I understand that I need more data on their financial performance as well.
It sounds like you're considering some important aspects, but there's still a lot to unpack. The independence could indeed be beneficial if we're not looking to manage operations directly, but we need to ensure that their management team is capable and aligned with our strategic goals. The potential to enhance our ESG score is appealing, but we should verify how their practices align with our standards. Once you gather more data on their financials and operational capabilities, we can evaluate how this investment aligns with our long-term objectives and risk tolerance. Let me know when you have more information and we can delve deeper.
Okay, I understand. I'll get back to you with those missing pieces. I think you're right. It's important to align with our broader objectives and them fitting into that so that, they give us the returns that we're looking for. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome, Mira.